Oh. Yeah, I got spotty Wi-Fi, bro. Can you hear what I'm saying? Yep.
Hello, everybody. Everybody there?
Yep. Yeah.
Okay. Josh Babayev? Oh. All right. You can come back on if you want. Is everybody muted? Is that why I can't hear anybody?
Yeah.
Yes, but you can hear me.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So today we're going to look at, hey, Josh. Okay, today we're going to look at the halacha of what the Gemara spoke out, what we spoke out yesterday, which we saw, and I want to look at the Meiri again just to remind ourselves. The Meiri we saw pointed out the two shittas that we saw. First the Tosfos, and then ultimately Das HaMeiri, which we linked up to Rashi. That we had a nusach of the Mishnah, Shvua she'ein li ba pachos mechetzi. The Gemara questions that nusach, and either mikoach Tosfos or Meiri, either way we come up, the lashon of the Meiri was Tiknu b'Gemara nusach shvua zu v'chulei. The Gemara comes up with a new nusach. Okay. So if we would look at the halacha, we would l'chora expect to find that the shvua that we make, the halacha follows the Gemara after answering the question on the Mishnah, because the Mishnah was a shvua that opened itself up to Ramos, and we were mishana the nusach. But we look at the Rambam, and the Rambam has the nusach of the Mishnah. If we see the lashon of the Mishnah, a lashon of the Rambam, the Rambam in Toin V'Nitain Tes Zayin, Shnaim shayu ochzin bekli echad v'chulei. Ze omer hakol sheli, v'ze omer hakol sheli. Kol echad mishneihen nishba b'nikitas chayfetz, she'ein lo b'ze hadavar pachos mechetzi v'yachloku. The Rambam keeps to the nusach of the shvua in the Mishnah. And this is shocking. The Ran here in Bava Metzia, Chidushe Haran, at the end of speaking out the Shvua L'Divrechem, says, V'yesh litmua ala rif, shelo kosvu behilchosav shvua sheyesh li ba. He points out that the Rif does not bring the nusach of the Shvua of the Gemara of Rav Huna and keeps to the Nusach HaMishnah and continues and says, V'chein HaRambam, B'perek Tes Hilchas Toin V'nitein, Kol Echad Mishneim Nishba B'Nikitas Chayfetz, She'ein Lo B'zeh HaDavar Pachos Michetzi, V'hu Min HaTema. It doesn't make any sense. Not only is that the question of the Ran, but L'chori, he got it from Doros Kadmonim, the Ramban. If you look at the Ramban in the Shita, in the Kovetz, the Ramban, in the same Dibura Maschel L'Divrechem, Shvua Sheyesh Li Ba, he doesn't quote the Rambam, but he quotes the Rif. And he finishes off, if you look over there, it says, Ubehilchas Rabbeinu HaGadol, Lo Kosov Shvua Sheyesh Li Ba, Ve'eni Yored L'Sof Daito Bezeh. I do not understand the Rif. I don't understand why he didn't change the Nusach to follow the Gemara. And he kept with the Nusach of the Mishnah. This is the kasha of the Rishonim on the Rambam, on the Rambam and the Rif. It's not only the Rambam and the Rif. The next Marmakum, the Tur. The Tur also brings down in Choshen Mishpat Simin Kuf Lamet Ches, Shnayim HaMuchzakin B'davar, HaMetaltel, Kol Echad Omer Kula Shali, Yachloku Beinehen, V'yito Kol Echad Chetzi, Achar Sheyishova, She'ein Lo Ba, Pachos Mechetzi. So the Tur also paskins with the Nusach of the Mishnah. So we have a Rif and the Rambam and the Tur, shockingly disregarding the Gemara, keeping with the Nusach of the Mishnah, and we see that all the Rishonim bothered what happened to the Gemara. Why weren't they misyaches to our sugya? Now, we know that the Shulchan Aruch paskins takes 2 out of 3. He takes from the Rif, Rambam, and Rosh. He takes 2 out of 3. Now, the Rosh does, in the halachas of the Rosh, bring down the Nusach of the Gemara as the Shvua. But the Shulchan Aruch, we would expect, if he's going to take 2 out of 3, he would side with the Rif Rambam and come out that the Nusach HaShavua is like the Mishnah. But we look at the Shulchan Aruch. Let's look at the Shulchan Aruch now. And the Shulchan Aruch, Choshen Mishpat Kuf Lamed Ches, Din Shnayim Ochzim Betalis. So he starts off the first halacha. Shnayim Hayu Ochzim B'Kli Echad. Zeh Omer HaKol Shali. V'zeh Omer HaKol Shali. Kol Echad Mehem Nishba B'Nikitas Chayfetz. Sheyesh Lo B'zeh HaDavar. V'she'ein Lo Ba Pachos Mechetzi V'Yachloku. The Shulchan Aruch does not go with the Rif Rambam. He finds it so difficult to go with the Nusach of the Mishnah. L'chorah, the Kash of the Rishonim on the Rif and the Rambam, so shocking that despite the fact that he always holds by the Klal 2 out of 3, he breaks the rule and leaves the Rif and the Rambam and goes with the Rosh and the Pashtus of the Sugya. So what we want to do today is try to understand Shitas HaRambam and the Rif, and to understand what are they doing with the Gemara in front of us. So The first place we'll look at is the Sma, which I could not find in the in those Mikoros that I sent to you. But the Sma on the Shulchan Aruch, the Sma is Sif Cotton Hay. Sif Cotton Hay, the Sma explains the sheet of the Shulchan Aruch and the Kasha that of Rashi in the Sugya, goes through the Sugya a little bit, and then he comes to the Rambam, and he says, "V'Rambam v'Hatur lo kosfu shetzarich l'shava shvua sheyesh libo." He writes, "V'katavti b'drisha nire dahainu taima mishum de'anu mashbiin al das hamokum v'al das habeis din v'su leka lemechash leramos ein shamach kashafti od bezet." You look at the Nesivus also over there, it goes into the Shita a little bit of the Sma. The mashmos of the Sma is that the Gemara, the whole Shakla Vitaria, seems to be going a liba to a Shita that doesn't hold that we're mashbi'in al das beis. So if you're not mashbi al das beis, so you have a big kasha, because lechora it's nitin liramos. And so the Gemara changes the nusach according to that shita. And lechora, the Rambam will even answer up the kasha of Tosfos, because Tosfos, we saw yesterday, said, wait a second, why are we concerned about Ramos Bechlal in the Sugya? Hare, aren't we mashbi al das beis? If we're mashbi al das beis, the kasha doesn't even start. So Tosfos says, okay, even though there's really no kasha here, ain't nafka mina la'alacha in terms of the Ramos and Shvua Sheker, but he says, when we come to make a nusach, we should make it the best possible nusach. The Rambam, according to the Sma, says, no, inachinami. If the sugya was going aliba de hilchasa, aliba the manda amar, and we actually pass in this way, they were mashbin al das based in, the Gemara never would have had a shaila. And the Mishnah is going aliba de hilchasa that we do mashbi al das based in, and therefore the nusach is the way it says in the Mishnah. The Gemara, though, Gufa is going aliba to the shita that you're not mashbin al das based in. Oh, im kain, there arises the kasha that there's room for a ramai, that even if he has nothing, his shvua will be a shvuas emes, because we're not mashbi al das based in. So the shakla v'tarya of this sugya, and the reason why it had to change the nusach, is only aliba to the shita that we're not mashbi al das based in. However, since we, says the Sma, anan, we are mashbi al das based in, and the Rambam brings in Hilchas Shvuas, and the Klal in Shvuas is that we're mashbi al das based in. So Rambam l'shitaso disregards the entire sugya, because the sugya is lo liba de hilchasa, and liba de hilchasa that we're mashbi al das based in, the nusach remains as the nusach in the Mishnah. That's how the Sma explains why the Rambam Bechlal was disregarded, and the Rif doesn't even make a mention of the entire sugya. And Hayamid Beis says the Sma, the reason is because the entire Shakla V'Tarya is lo aliba de hilchasa, and therefore remains completely outside the halach. That's the shita of the Sma. Now, excuse me, the next shita that I want to look at is the Drisha. Let's look at the Drisha. Okay. Now, The Drisha is actually the Sma. The Sma says, look what he wrote in the Drisha. But what he wrote in the Drisha is a different idea. The first part of the Drisha, he goes through the Sugya with Rashi, Shaklavitaria, and he points out over here okay, Kvar Tama Haran. Oh, it says here, Varif Vegam Harambam, Virabenu, the tour, Lo Hiskira Shvua Sheyesh Liba, Kvar Tama Haran, Alarif Bezet, Velo Kosav B'Yeshuva Midi. The Ran doesn't answer anything on his kasha, leaves them out. Gamma Beis Yosef Tamakan. We pointed out that Beis Yosef was so bothered that in the Shulchan Aruch, he doesn't paskin like not the Rif, Rambam, and Tur. Okay. This is now the Drisha's teretz to the Shaila. Heim Sovrim. Me'achad b'mishnah lo ketani el shvua she'ein li ba, ein tzarich l'shava yoser. Okay. They took from the Mishnah. If the Mishnah says that's the nusach of the shvua, that's the nusach of the shvua. And that's koveya the shvua, and they're going to be mashpia that way. Ay, va Gemara. De hiksha al de isle mishtava. Lo mistaber lahariva Rambam v'Rabbeinu, the tour, lefarsha k'depirish Rashi. They did not want to explain the Gemara like Rashi does. Rashi explained, the machmas, ha dinishba, shein lo ba v'chule, yesh shash ramos. They didn't want to explain it that way. Why? Dein za pirish b'mashmos lashon akusha, al de isle v'chule. That doesn't sound like that's what the kash is in the Gemara. The Gemara had al de isle mishtaba, or al de leisle mishtaba. What does that have to do with Ramos? What does that have to do with somebody who would have nothing? And if you would make a shvua she'en li ba, would be a shvuas emes. That whole kasha that the Rashi explains, which many Rishonim embrace as that kasha, says the Drisha, that kasha doesn't make sense in the words of the Gemara. So he says they understood the Gemara differently. What did the Gemara? What was the kasha then? So he says, Eleichi perusha. Al de isle mishtavo al de leisle. Halo vadai al de isle mishtava kikenu derech haolam. Listen, whenever you make a shvua, you always make a shvua on what you possess. That's the derech haolam. That's how shvuas are made. Im kain lama ketani amas nisin shishava al de leisle. So then, why is the Mishnah making the nusach hamad de leisle? Matzi Rav Huna l'shnuye v'chule. Okay, those an aside point. But now he comes back and he says, this is what Rav Huna answered. Rav Huna said like this, Ka'amar, Divadai al de isle mishtova. Really? He is making a shvua on what he has. V'kavanaso sheyesh li ba ve'ein li ba pachos mechetzi. It's true the nusach is shvua she'ein li ba pachos mechetzi, but since everybody, when they make a shvua on what they have, al de isle. So this guy, when he makes his shvua, despite the fact that the nusach hashvua is shvua she'ein li ba pachos mechetzi, but his kavana is sheyesh li ba ve'ein li ba pachos mechetzi. So since that's his kavana in the shvua, so what he's telling us is that not that Rav Huna in the Gemara says, oh, Rav Huna says, D'Omar shvua sheyesh li ba ve'ein li ba pachos mechetzi. He says, no, Rav Huna didn't mean that that's the actual nusach. We were not menaseach a new shvua. What Rav Huna is telling us is that is the kavana of the nishba. The guy who's making the shvua doesn't alter the nusach from the Mishnah. Rav Huna is telling us this is his kavana. His kavana, despite the fact that he says shvua she'ein li ba, his kavana is sheyesh li ba ve'ein li ba pachos mechetzi. Okay, and that's how he answers up the Rambam. He understands that the kasha was a completely different kasha than the other Rishonim. The kasha has nothing to do with Ramos. The kasha was just, listen, does he say every shvu is always on what you possess? Shvu sheyesh liba. Why is he making a nusach she'ein liba? It's not the way you make a shvua. And the Teretz says, Rav Huna comes and says, no, that is what he's saying. It's not really what he's saying, because the nusach is she'ein liba, but his kavana is alma de isle. And since that's the kavana of his shvua, that is what the shvua goes down as, despite the fact that the nusach of the shvua remains as the Mishnah. Okay. That is the shita of the drisha. Okay, so very different than what we've seen till now, because the drisha actually says, changes the whole shaklavataya of the sugya, that the kasha is not the kasha of Rashi, a different kasha. And when now, this is the first time we've seen that the way to understand Rav Huna is not that Rav Huna changed the nusach, but he says the nusach remains the same. Rav Huna was just explaining the kavana of the nishba. Okay. So that's teretz number 2. That is the drisha. Now, the drisha did say, interestingly enough, that he thinks that maybe that's what the Beis Yosef said. Look at the end of the drisha. He says, "Ve'efsher gam lezeh kiven haBeis Yosef b'ma shekosov sheratza lomar shepirush dvarim halalu hu ki'ilu amar kain b'dok." Okay. Now he wants to suggest that he was mechaven to the Beis Yosef and the Beis Yosef's teretz. Now the Beis Yosef says very little. Let's look at the Beis Yosef and see if we can understand maybe what the Beis Yosef is saying. Now here's the Beis Yosef on the tour, and he also goes through the entire sugya, brings in the mahalach that we saw Rashi and Daf Hey, and then he points out over here, he says, "Velo kosav Rabbeinu kan," the tour, "Velo harambam beperek tes mihilchas toen, shenusach shvua zu shvua sheyesh li ba, v'ein li ba pachos mechetzi." They don't have the nusach of the shvua like the Gemara. V'yesh li tmua alehem. Now he comes with the teretz. V'nireh shehem meforshim delav lemeimra sheyomar kain mamish ela lomar shepirish dvarim halalu ki'ilu omer kain. Okay. Now, how did you guys? We're gonna try this. Gonna try to have people speak in the shir. We didn't do that last time because I didn't know how it works. Now we're gonna try it. How did you guys understand the Beis Yosef? Did the guys get to the Beis Yosef? Aha. Yoni, you want to say something? Oh, Uri's left. Uri, you have some Seder notes?
Yeah, no, I just want to get it out in front of me.
What out in front of you?
Yeah, I'm gonna get it out.
Okay. So let's go back. Let's go back to the. I'm going to go back to the. Let's look at the BCO safe inside. Okay. So now it's true that Drisha says that Efsher, that what he said is all in the Beis Yosef, which is a little stam. It's hard to know what the Beis Yosef says, but I'll tell you like this. One thing is that the Beis Yosef does not change the Shakla Vitaria of the Suk. What's that? So, okay. So the Beis Yosef does not change the Shakla Vitaria. He doesn't say to answer up the Rambam, we need to re-explain the Kasha and the whole new teretz. And he doesn't say that. Beis Yosef seems to remain with the question that the Rashi had. And what he says here, I thought was, okay, tell mommy that Safti is trying to call. Oh, tell Safti that to call on the other phone. Hello? Okay. So, listen what the Beis Yosef says. Beis Yosef says, "V'nir Hashem mefarshim delav lemeim Rashi Kain." Okay, so that's one thing. He says that the Rambam and the Tur must have understood that the Gemara, when Rav Huna comes and gives his teretz, lav lemeim Rashi Kain. It's not that Rav Huna says that we're changing the nusach and this is what the nusach is. This is what the nusach is. No. Mamish, right? Mamish. I don't know what this is. Okay. Ella Lomar Shepirish Dvarim Halalu Ki'ilu Omer Kain. Now this was interesting because what does he mean? He says Pirish Hadvarim Halalu. Pirish Hadvarim Halalu Ki'ilu Omer Kain. This is what I thought he was saying. If you look back at the Ritva that we saw yesterday, the Ritva Chadoshim, if you have your Kovetz in front of you, there you go. Okay. So we pointed out the Ritva Chadashim in line with Rashi. Al de Isle Mishtava, explain the question. Klomar, de Kevon de Nishba, she'ein lo ba pachos mechetzi, yesh b'mashma, she'ein lo ba afilu pachos mechetzi. At the Kasha the Gemara is that the mashmos of Shvua she'ein li ba pachos mechetzi, the mashmos of that lashon is she'ein li ba afilu pachos mechetzi. That's what the Maksha asks. The Maksha asks, wait a second, this nusach shvua doesn't work because the mashmos of the shvua is that he has nothing. Comes Rav Huna, according to the Beis Yosef, the way the Rambam and the Tur understand the Rav Huna's teretz, is Rav Huna's coming back and he's saying, no, that is not the mashmos of Shvua she'ein li ba pachos mechetzi. The mashmos is not that he has nothing. No. Rav Huna argues and says that the pirush dvarim alalu, the pirush of the nusach of the Mishnah is actually Shvua sheyesh li ba ve'ein li ba pachos mechetzi. That is the pirush hadvarim of the nusach of the Mishnah. So that's why I thought he says, "V'nira shehem meforshim delav lemeim Rashi Yomer Kain mamish." Also understanding again that Rav Huna was not coming to mishana the nusach. It's not that we're mamish going to turn this into the nusach. Elalomasha pirush dvarim halalu kilu Omer Kain. The pirush of the shvu of the Mishnah is keilu. He's saying shvu sheyesh li ba ve'ein li ba pachos mechetzi. And lachein, therefore, Rav Huna was not coming to Mishana the Nusach. The Shakla V'Tarya in the Sugya was, what is the mashmos of the Shvuas HaMishnah? The Maksha held that the mashmos was that if you had nothing, it fit into the words. And Rav Huna says, no. To defend the Lashon of the Mishnah, the Nusach of the Mishnah, he's saying, no. Pirush Hadvar Malalu is Shvuas Yesh Liba, Ve'en Liba Pachos Mechetzi. No change for the Nusach, and the Nusach remains with the Mishnah. They never discussed to change the Nusach. It was all a machlokis. What is the mashmos of the Nusach in the Mishnah? And Rav Huna is coming to tell you that the Pirush had Mishnah Shvu is like this. No need to change the Nusach. That's how I thought the Beis Yosef reads. Okay. Uri, is that what you thought also?
No, I didn't get that, Chad.
Okay. How about your Chavrusa?
I think who knows if he's up yet? LA, it's very early there.
Okay.
But yeah.
All right, fine. I can't wait till he starts joining us. Okay. Wedgel, you've been pretty quiet. Wedgel? I don't see Wedgel anymore. Is he? Oh, whatever. Okay. Fine. So now we come on to. He's gone. Okay. So now we want to go on to the last teretz. Okay, we've already seen 3 terutzim for the Rambam, 3 hesberim: the Sma, Drisha, and the Beis Yosef. Okay. Now we have the Chuvas Haradbaz. Now, Chuvas Haradbaz, interesting. I didn't put the Radbaz. There's a Radbaz in the Shita Mikubetzes. The Radbaz is the Rebbe of the Shita Mikubetzes. He quotes part of this Chuva, but misses a big part in that, and therefore we went to the Radbaz inside in the Chuva. The Radbaz, I think we've mentioned earlier that Radbaz was the chief rabbi of Egypt, and as such, hey Wedgel. Okay. So as chief rabbi of Egypt, they followed in Egypt all the halachas of the Rambam. The Rambam was the Rav of Egypt, and throughout history, once the Rambam was the chief rabbi over there, all the halachas in Egypt followed the Rambam. So Radbaz took over hundreds of years later afterwards, but nonetheless, they were still following all the halachas of the Rambam in Egypt. And Chelek Hey, he has 7 halakim of chuvas, the Radbaz does. Chelek Hey, the entire Chelek is to answer up for Shver Rambams. That's the whole Chelek Hey is dedicated for that. Okay. So this halacha, Toin V'Nitein Tes Zayin, was a very Shver Rambam, we've seen already. And he was asked to explain this Rambam. So let's see the Radbaz. Okay. Okay. Let's go to the Shut HaRadbaz. Did you guys get up to the Shut Radbaz? Part of it? Skimmed it? Yoni, what was that? Yeah. Okay. Beseder. So we'll have to read it inside, I guess. Okay. So here's a Shut Radbaz. And Shalta Mimeni, Udiecha Daiti, B'ma shekosov HaRambam Zal, Perek Tes Hilchos Toin V'Nitein V'Zel Shono. Kol echad Mishneim Nishba Menekidis Chavetz Shein Lo Bo Dover Pachos Mechetzi. V'chein kasav harif v'koshe. The Bereish Mitzia. I don't know what that is. Wait, I'm confused here. 1 second. Where am I? Whoop. 1 second. I've lost everybody.
Really, I'm still here.
Oh. I'm not sure I'm here. 1 second. Where am I?
Yeah, Rob, we also hear you.
But do you see me?
Yeah, I see you. I see you.
Yeah, I see you also.
I see you on the air.
Okay, here we go. You guys can mute yourselves. It's a lot of background. Okay, great. Okay, so Vikosha the Bereish Mitzia Amar Rav Huna, the Amar Shvua Sheyesh Li Ba, Ve'eni Ba Pachos Mechetzi, V'hachi Havi Maskana the Talmuda V'lekam on the Palik. No one argues on it. No one argues on Rav Huna. That's the Maskana of the Gemara. Everything follows Rav Huna, and yet the Rif and the Rambam disregard the Sugya. That was the Grace Akasha of the Makshe. So the Radbaz says, okay, listen. Kvar tamu harishonim al zeh. All the Rishonim already asked this kasha. They beat you to the punch. Now, here comes teretz number 4 that we didn't expect. He says this, Kvar ra'iti mishe kosov shelo haya b'gir sasam lo hakusha velo hatiritz. Very easy answer. Maybe we should have brought it first. He says, you know what? Here's an answer for the Rambam. They didn't have it in their girsa. They didn't have it in the Gemara. Not the kasha, not the teretz. Okay? So I guess that's one way to answer up for the Rambam and the Rif, that they completely didn't have that Gemara in front of them. That whole 15 lines in the Sugya was not in their manuscripts, and therefore they never knew there was a kasha on the Mishnah, never knew there was a teretz to answer it up, didn't even know that the Gemara changed the Nusach. Memele, they kept with the Nusach of the Mishnah. Okay, that's Mahalach number 4. Now he says, "Vani kosha alai meod lahagia sfarim u'lishabish lishonos." That's very difficult to now change all the manuscripts that we have. This is all the Rishonim had the Nusach of the Shaklavitaria, so very difficult to say now that to rip it out of the Gemaras. Okay, lefichach tzarich lefaresh. Therefore, we need to come up with another Mahalach. How are we going to explain it? Okay. Tzarich lefaresh, the parich talmuda, al de isle mishtava, al de leisle mishtava, hachi parich. Monav shach. I al de isle mishtava. If they're supposed to be making the shvua on the what they have, so kosher lishna de masnisen. The ketani zei shavasheni b'pachas mechetzi. Demashma da de leisle mishtava. V'al de leisle mishtava ki demashma masnisen kosher nami dikal mechash l'ramos. Okay, so he has it as a memoner shach kasha. It's true, but it's very similar to what we see in Rashi. Okay, that we had the nusach, at least of the Shvuas HaMishnah, has a problem with Ramos. Problem with Ramos, and the guy who has nothing is going to end up with a Shvuas Emes. Okay, now, Mitaritz of Huna, Dileolam al Dileisle Mishtova Kidemashma Masnisen. Okay, so Rav Huna actually says, interesting, because we'll have to see what he does with the Nusach of the Gemara. But Rav Huna's intention, anyway, is to actually say that the Nusach of the Shvuah remains like the Mishnah. Liolam al deleisle mishtava kidemash masnisim. That's really the Nusach of the Shvuah. Miu. Haloshen be'atzmo mashma sheyesh li ba Ve'ein li ba pachos mechetzi. First, he says, point number one, he says, is that interesting? He says, I'll highlight this. Haloshin be'atzmo mashma sheyesh li ba ve'ein ba pachos mechetzi. So first of all, he says, the actual lashon, the nusach, is not what the makshis was maybe thinking, but the etzem lashon of shvua she'ein li ba pachos mechetzi actually is shvua, the mashmos is shvua sheyesh li ba ve'ein li ba pachos mechetzi. Now, sounds a little bit like the Beis Yosef, but we're going to see where it changes in a moment. Now, v'loshin hanishba nami hachi mashma. So not only is it the loshin be'etzem this way, but also he says v'loshin hanishba. That's also what it sounds like to him also. Okay? So the etzem loshin sounds that way, and even the nishba, when he says it, that's what he hears. He understands that that's what's going on. Okay. Now, but you're gonna have another kasha. You're gonna say, well, wait a second. But what if the guy has in mind, what is he gonna mishana a little bit? Even though that's the mashmos, but maybe since there's room for a guy who has nothing to kind of like be mefarish the lashon hashvua otherwise, maybe there's room for a mos, even though be'etzem lashon is not that way, and the lashon nishba here is not that way, but maybe he could take advantage and have a little kavana shebelev, and maybe get his eno klum into the shvua. And that continues the Radbaz and says, Veleka Ramos, and that there's no Ramos, Daha al das based in Mashbian lay. Now he introduces, we make the Shvu al das based in. And that's, I want to point out that already seems to be like the Meiri definition of the al das based in, because he didn't answer from the beginning and say, listen, you got no problem with Ramos, and the kasha is going to be das based in. If the mashmos halashin actually sounds like eno klum, al das based in wouldn't take care of it, like the Meiri says. Therefore, before he brings in al das based in, he first says, listen, I want to tell you that the etzem lashon and the lashon hanishba is shvua sheyesh li ba. Now, there's a question about dvarim shebelev. And dvarim shebelev, that's taken care of through al das based in mashbian lay. That sounds to me very much like a Meiri approach, at least in the getter of where we apply al das based in to. Okay. By the way, did guys have a chance to do Chazara? Yes. Was it Chug night last night? Because last night was Chug, wasn't it? What? Whatever. Okay, well, tonight you're Chazer. So, the time of the Milsa. Now, this right now actually sounds very similar to the Beis Yosef. Because the Beis Yosef, the way we understood it, said, right up here, that Pirush Advarim Halalu, that's what's Ke'ilu he said, because the Pirush Advarim is not like the Mashmos of the Maksha. Okay. But he comes now, time of the Milsa changes a little bit. What is the time of the Milsa, and why is it that the Lashon HaShvua and the Lashon HaNishba hears that he's making a shvu on sheyesh liba, despite the fact that he doesn't actually say shvu sheyesh liba? He says, time of the milsa. De kevan de ihu ta'in kula shali. Let's not forget, when he walked into Beis Din and made his claim, he already made a claim, kula shali. Umashbian also, she'ein lo ba pachos mechetzi. And now the nusach of the shvua is, okay, make a shvua, shein lo ba pachas mechetzi. Ein kan ramos, kivan shashvua ba al ta'anaso. You see, now that he's made the taina kula shalo, and now we throw him a shvua at him, so nichlal in the shvua, bichlal the shvua, he's already has in mind the taina. It encompasses the taina that he made in the beginning. So the shvua that he makes is not just the lashon that he's saying in the nusach, but it incorporates also his initial taina. Vein adam toa bezet. And no one makes that mistake. He came in, he said kula shali. If he said kula shali, then included in the shvua is his das, is that he has something in the talis. Now he says here, even his mesake. Ktaro shel davar. Here's the bekitzer. Rav Huna achikam. This is what Rav Huna actually means to say. The bichlal shvua de masnisin, included within the shvua de masnisin of shvua she'ein li ba pachas mechetzi, havi sheyesh lo ba. In that shvua is havi sheyesh lo ba. Ay afal pi she'ein shvuasa ela she'ein li ba pachas mechetzi. Even though, what do you mean? The actual nusach of the shvua, he only articulates she'ein li ba pachas mechetzi. Doesn't matter. Within the shvua is havi sheyesh lo ba. He says mitrei taimi. Chada shal tanasa rishona mashbinoso. We're mashbinoso on really on his original taina, and he already said kula shali. So there's a little, I hate to say it, but some way, some hybrid over here, that even though the lashon of his shvua is ein li ba, but nichlal in the shvua is the fact that he already made a taina of kula shali, and the two are to become one. When he makes the shvua she'en li ba, he's making shvua sheyesh li ba mikoach his taina, and shvua she'en li ba pachas mechetzi is because of the shvua. V'su al das beisim mashpin also. And we take care of all the Ramos issues, and we, since al das beisim mashpin also makes that part of his shvua. Now, legabe, now he continues and says, I see, put your hand out. We'll get to you in a second. Okay. Ulegabe adin, he says, imadain roesh anishba yesh tzad Ramos b'dvarav. Now this is b'chol, even with all this, if the dayan still sees that the nishba is trying to pull off some Ramos, Hoshu Amaoretz, or he's an Amaoretz who doesn't realize that when we give him the nusach of Ein Liba, it's also included in his taina rishona. He doesn't put that all together. So then, tzarich sheyifaresh lo. Then in Chinami, we do have to explain to him that the shvua is a shvua sheyesh liba ve'en liba pachas mechetzi. We have to do that because it's not explicit. It's just that he said above, the lashon atzmo is mashma that way, and the lashon nishba is mashma to him that way. Ve'en adam toeh bezeh, ein adam toeh bezeh. Nonetheless, if the guy's an Amaretz, or he looks like he's trying to pull some shtick, so then Beis Din will actually create a nusach shvua sheyesh liba ve'en liba pachas mechetzi. V'meinu b'dvar tzad Ramos, v'meinu Amaretz. But if he's not, we don't suspect any Ramos going on, and the guy's not Amaretz, it's enough. Sheyishba she'ein li ba pachos mechetzi, just like the Rif and the Rambam write. Okay, so to Mesakim, the 5 terutzim on the Rambam, we saw. The first was the Sma, who says that the Rambam saw this sugya lo aliba de hilchasa. The entire sugya is aliba to the Manda Amar that the Shita that we're not mashbi'in al das Beis Din. So since we're not mashbi'in al das Beis Din, so now we have a very serious shaila, and the mashmos seems to open itself up to Ramoim. But since we are mashbi'in al das Beis Din, the sugya does not apply, and we remain with the shvua of the Mishnah. The Drisha says that, the Rambam and the Rif and the Tur understood completely differently the Shakla V'Tarya. The question of Ramos never came into play. And he answers that Rav Huna never was changed the Nusach. Just Rav Huna is coming to tell me that the Kavana of the Nishba, the Mashpia, Kavana of the one taking the Shvua, is Shvua Sheyesh Liba, Vein Liba Pachos Mechetzi. Beis Yosef wanted to medayik that he says that the machlokis between the Maksha and Rav Huna is what is the mashmos loshin of the nusach of the Mishnah, where the shaila of the Maksha was that the mashmos seemed to be that even if you have nothing, you can fit into the shvua, and Rav Huna says no, the pirush hadvarim of shvua she'en li ba pachos mechetzi is shvua she'yesh li ba ve'en li ba pachos mechetzi. That is the pirush hadvarim, and Rav Huna again was not trying to change the nusach, is just telling me the pirush dvarim of the shvua of the Mishnah. The Rabaz mentions two terutzim. One is Rambam never had that girsa, okay, but the other one is that because he came in and already made the taina kula shelo, so despite the fact that the nusach is only shvua she'en li ba pachos mechetzi, but because he came in and introduced his taina with kula sheli, certainly the shvua nichlal in the shvua is shvua sheyesh li ba ve'en li ba pachos mechetzi. Okay, those are 5 mahalchim to answer up for the Rambam, despite the fact that Shulchan Aruch falls off of the Rif Rambam Tur and paskins that the nusach that he understands the Gemara that, like all the other Rishonim basically, that Rav Huna was not coming to define the pirush of the Mishnah or the kavanah of the mashpia, but they were actually changed the nusach of the shvua, and the halacha lamaisa paskin. Ramah does not disagree. Nosei Kalim do not disagree, and that understanding the Gemara changes the nusach of the shvua to shvua sheyesh li ba ve'en li ba pachos mechetzi. Okay, now I see on the bottom over here that there's something called chat, which I'm going to click on that. As a bear. Okay, I don't know what happened 19 minutes ago. Okay. There's another. What?
I think you said shver, so Yoni A wrote as a bear.
Nice. Actually, the Sim Dog asked if he could join the today's shir, but I see he hasn't joined. Okay. There's another question in the chat. It says privately though, so just 1 second. Okay. I tell you, I won't say who asked it. It's not really a private question. Since we have 5 different ways to understand the Rambam and the Rif, why did Shulchan Aruch break his rule and not go with the majority? Okay, so if we look at the Beis Yosef, maybe we can answer it this way. The Beis Yosef, who, as we know, authored the Shulchan Aruch, the Beis Yosef explains the sugya, and he finishes off that the Pashtas HaSugya, the Gemara, and the Rishonim all follow this understanding that Rav Huna was changed the Nusach. And he says, Lo Kosav Rabbeinu Khan, the Tur v'lo Rambam. So he has this Bam Kasha that they were not misyaches to the Gemara, and he says v'nire shehem meforshim v'chule. Kanire that he felt that it was dochak to explain that the Gemara was not changing the nusach. All other Rishonim understand Rav Huna that they changed the nusach. So l'chorei he's understood that it was shver is a bear, and it's dochak. It's a dochak limud. So mikoach that dachkos, and I hear, despite the fact that the Beis Yosef himself gives a mahalach, but he holds that every mahalach that we have for the Rambam is dochak, and that's l'chora not the pashtus hasugya, and he broke away. We do see sometimes. It's not like this is the only time that that Shulchan Aruch breaks away from this klal, but when he feels that the Rambam Rif is very difficult read in a sugya, or when they're mamish like a das yochid, so he will break the rule. That's really a question in Klalei Hapsak. Very good. Anyone else have a question or? David, okay. So I just didn't know what it was that you were shaking in front of the camera. It's a water bottle. Okay.
It's a water bottle.
Right. Okay. Anyone have any questions? Anyone wanna? How things going in Denver?
We got some bad Wi-Fi going over here, Rob. Bad Wi-Fi.
Roger, you're in Denver?
Yeah, Wedgel, you're in Denver right now?
Yeah.
Rav, can I ask on the second answer of the Radbaz? I'm not really understanding it.
Okay, you do Chazara. Do Chazara and you put it in the WhatsApp. You'll write a question.
Does anybody know how he can listen to the shir again? That's my question.
Oh, okay, that's a good question. Now, the first year, I mistakenly did not click the save to a cloud feature. Oh, by the way, Ethan, I'm trying to get also these virtual backgrounds, and I can't. And my computer doesn't do it. I don't know.
I was trying to visit AP, but I got lost on the way.
What? Okay.
Not a pleasure place to get lost.
Nah, you don't want to be in San Francisco right now. Okay.
No.
So oh, that's nice. Okay, everyone go ahead, put on your virtual background now. No kidding. Look at that. All right. Okay. David, I see it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I got it. Okay. So, wait, where'd Wedgel go? He slipped in behind David. Anyway, so the first year that I gave, I did not put onto the cloud. It recorded onto record. Yeah, try a different one. I recorded on the locally, went onto the computer. So I sent it out. I think I put it on the on our WhatsApp group. Did it not go up there? Anyway,
I think I saw you sent it.
yeah, I put it up there, and then I also sent it to Avremi, who's I think going to put it up on the other thing. I think this year, if I'm not mistaken, I recorded on a cloud, so it goes right to Avrami, and then he puts it up on the. Well, where are they putting it up? on YNA year continued or something, or no one knows. Okay, so okay, yeah. There's only okay. You use both of them. Very good, Dov. Shkoyach. Okay, so I'll put it onto the chat. That's what I'll do. I'll try to get this one onto the chat also. Okay, and
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Rav.
you're welcome. And any okay? Does anyone
Thank
wanna how things are going? Share with everybody what's going on.
Hey, Rav, I have a quick question.
All the questions are quick.
Yes. Well, according to the Rambam and the Rif, who say it's like the gears of the Mishnah, then I forgot who says this, but we said that normally shuas are in the positive. So why would they say it's in the negative?
What's your question?
I forgot which before he says this, but it said normally shuas are made in the positive.
Okay.
Like I have this, or so. How would the Rambam and the Rif we say that you don't say that there are no chashash for ramais and you don't need to say that I have something? How would they explain why the shua is in the negative?
Oh, because they say that the shvua is in the positive. Even though the
They say it's in the
nusach, the nusach hashvua sounds like it's a negative, yeah, but according to the Radbaz, shvua sheyesh li ba incorporated into that, or you have the mahalech, the Beis Yosef, that the pirush hadvarim is actually shvua sheyesh li ba and in the positive, or you have the drisha that the kavana of the mashpia is in there. So even though the nusach is negative, but they're all saying that be'etzem, since it includes shvua sheyesh li ba, it actually ends up positive.
Oh, shkoyach, thank you.
Okay. The kids want to say hello to everybody, so anyone want to step in over here? Eliezer wants to say hi. And Moshe, you want to come in? No, Moshe, no. Moshe's
Get my shit.
and Yisrael wants to say hi. That's nice.
My shit.
And okay. Now, Dov, why can't we see you? Why are you only clapping all the whole time? Do we not want to see you? I guess not. Okay. Okay, and how things in general in America? How things going? Here in Eretz Yisrael, they basically officially went into lockdown. My son in Bnei Brak has been sent home. He'll be home shortly, and I don't know how it's going to be because it's already been 2 days with everybody home, and it's well, all the kids are here anyway, so but it's getting interesting.
New York is going to lock down the next few days.
Wow. Crazy. Okay. Listen, keep well. Tomorrow, Bez Hashem, I'll put up Mar Makomos, and we'll move on in the sugya, Bez Hashem.
Thank you, Rav.
Kol Tuv.
Thank you, Rav.
Thank you, Rav.
Ethan,
Hey,
how much time will take you to go מסביב כדור העולם?
He wants to know how long it's going to take you to go around the world. He's enjoying your virtual background over there. And
I'm not sure. We're kind of stuck at one spot for now.
they don't let him leave the house.
No.
Okay, Kol Tuv.
Oh yeah.